Hello, I'm MC Toon, the worst rapper in the world. This is the after show from the debate, a sort of debate that I had with Wendell, very nice guy, on gravity. We've got in the house a couple people. We got Reds and Jord. And the Jord said, how you guys doing?
Doing well.
You can talk. Go ahead.
I is here.
They can't see you yet. I'll fix that in a second, but
I is also here.
We've got I think King Crew is in
here.
There we go. And I'm going to change this. If your name could be seen, you can change your name if you want. It's up to you. So let's see. I got to change it so I don't need to see myself. There we go.
Actually, that's all right. That's cool.
And let's see. Well, looks like only Jord is going to be on screen at this point. There he is. And he's labeled Wendell. He's not actually Wendell. That's not really Wendell. Don't trust your senses.
What's up, Wendell?
What you're hearing and what you're seeing is not happening.
There we go. Not Wendell. I changed it. There we go. It says not Wendell now. There we go.
Hashtag not Wendell.
Right. How is it going? I need to pull up. I don't even have the live chat up yet.
Yeah, you need to fix that.
Jeez. So there it
Someone
is.
Fohammer335 says, look at that hunk on the left. I know it's hard, it's confusing, but I'm on the right. Yeah, exactly. He just said and on the right.
There it is. All right. I had to do a lot of things in a short amount of time. You know, it's gets like that. All right. Well, welcome everybody. Let's see. I want to read out what Gary IOW sent because that's pretty good stuff. Because when they say trust your senses, they don't really mean trust your senses. So let's see. How bright is the light in your room? How many lux is it, or lumens, or candela? What temperature is it in Kelvin? You can't determine that without a light meter or color temperature sensor. Can't trust your senses there. Take 3 bowls. Put some fairly hot water in one, some cold water in a second, and tepid in the third. Put each hand in the hot and cold water, right? One in each, I guess. Wait until you become accustomed to them and then put both hands into the tepid water at the same time. Is it hot or cold? That's why we have thermometers. And final, look out the window, find a church steeple or some other prominent landmark. How far to the centimeter is it away from you? You can't tell, but a laser rangefinder can.
Something I can't remember what teacher told me this. I feel like it was a biology teacher, but he said our eyes are decent enough optical devices, but completely horrible measuring devices. So like they're good to see, but deducing what we see and like the minutia of it all, that's not something that our eyes were even, I almost said designed. God, I've been listening to too much Kent Hovind. That's not what our eyes evolved for.
Yeah.
Trusting your senses for some things is okay. Making scientific measurements, don't trust your senses for stuff like that.
Yep.
And I say, listen, if you were on a bed and that bed was on a platform that rotated, you could rotate that once in a 24-hour period and you would fall asleep like a baby because it would feel like you're not moving, even though you actually are. Your senses aren't the best tool in the shed for every situation. but yeah, everyone thinks, or everyone that we talk to, every flurf that we talk to thinks, oh no, your senses are epic and amazing and basically infallible. BS, absolute BS.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Reds, if we were in bed with you, we'd all be blind. So yeah, that makes sense.
Exactly. You know, you don't want to look at my face because one of your senses will be it will combust. Your eyes will explode. That's usually what happens.
If I saw you, something would be exploding, Reds.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. I will stop the unwarranted sexual comments.
Oh no! By all means, please.
Please continue. That's how you really feel.
If I told you how I really felt, MC Toon would get demonetized.
Best to leave them as double entendres, please.
Exactly.
Yeah, but this is MC Toon After Dark, so it's okay, right?
I don't know if I said that. Did I say? I didn't say that. Nope, did not say that. Definitely did not say that. All right.
You prove you didn't say it, though.
We've got Bowhammer already dropped in. He said for a super chat. He said, "Well, hello there, God Emperor of Toonkind."
Okay.
God Emperor Toon. That's a new one, honestly.
Yeah. Mute Donkey says octopuses have better eyes. Yes, and Sean Carroll says, "How many lights do you see?"
It's actually octopi. Octopi is
I'm not.
actual...
Don't correct Mute Donkey.
Isn't that from Star Trek? How many lights do you see? But it was like 5 lights instead of 4 lights.
That's right. It was Picard.
Picard, yeah.
Picard and the Romulans. That's
yeah.
It's one of the only Star Trek references I will ever get, honestly.
But that got me curious though. Would that ever really work if you kept coming in saying there's 5 lights instead of 4 lights? Would you eventually see the 5 lights? I don't know if that would work.
Dude, question. Did your last guest actually believe that the ISS was up there?
Yes.
Yeah.
And can I ask, how did he have an explanation on why it stays up there?
No. Because he's not a scientist and he doesn't know these things. But it's up there.
Okay. But he has no explanation for how it stays up there.
No, but it'll eventually come down. I guess.
Yes, that process is called deorbiting, and it will be intentional when it happens.
Yep.
But he had no explanation. Why am I not surprised?
Quantum Degreaser said, and the George said, "We ain't got no use for your uppity grammarisms." It sounds about like how they talk where I come from, actually.
Yeah, so if you saw also Reds in the chat was a guy named Effed Up World.
I had a conversation with him.
Exactly, and he says the same thing. Right?
Yeah, now you're not going to believe this. Actually, you might, because screw it. You've heard every type of stupid rebuttal known to mankind when it comes to the International Space Station at this point. He believes that the ISS stays in the sky even though it's orbiting over a flat Earth because, and I'm quoting here, it goes into a different realm.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. Now, I was asking him, what the hell do you mean by that? And then he was like trying to bring up the Bible and angels and things like that. And he even said that the Falcon 9 rocket was foretold in the Bible.
Yeah. I've seen him talk about that.
And so I was when we had this conversation, it was either yesterday or the day before. I basically responded with, "Wow, that is a stretch. You are just bending the Bible to make it mean whatever the hell you want it to mean."
Yeah.
These are the kind of
That
guys
is a
give my
stretch.
headache. Jesus.
Listen, Wendell explained the ISS stayed up there by fuel and engines.
Oh yeah, he did say that.
Like
no.
constantly firing engines?
I don't know. Well, he talked about that it has to occasionally fire.
Well, yeah,
Did
the
he say
station
that?
does a reboost, but
Yeah,
does that every now and then the orbit of the International Space Station will degrade enough so that a reboost is necessary. So yeah, that's perfectly fine, but if you were to treat the ISS like you would a plane, you would have to fire your engines continuously, and no, absolutely not. There is not enough fuel, period, to keep that thing going in atmosphere, especially at that speed. Because it's going over 4.5 miles per second.
It's special pleading.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. You know, different rules apply to it for some reason. Don't know why. It just does. Don't ask me why.
Well, that's the thing with Effed Up World, because he said that, you know, once you get to a certain altitude, you go into a different realm, whatever the hell that means, and you can magically get into an orbit over the flat Earth. And I'm like, how does that work? And how did you figure this out, first of all? And I'm guessing he wants to, an angelic realm is what he called it.
Oh, yes.
So I was like...
So wait, you've never heard of magic fuel? That shit's awesome, bro.
I mean, either this dude has some secret information from somewhere, or he's smoking some really good shit.
It's just made up. It's the same thing, right? You start with a conclusion and then try to fit things into it. Right?
Correct.
And for Wendell and Effed Up World, they have both seen enough about rockets to say, well, it doesn't make sense to deny that they go up. And so I need to fit to force this in to my conclusion somehow. So that's it.
Starting with the premise, starting with the conclusion and working backwards. I think that's just par for the course for flat tards, honestly.
Agreed. It's one of those things where if you need to come up with an explanation of a magical realm, you've officially lost me, and everyone else for that matter.
Well, not everyone.
Well, everyone that has their head screwed on straight. Anyone with a functioning brainstem.
Yep.
So, I mean, and like I said, I spoke to him for maybe an hour or two during our debate, and I asked him some very, very basic questions, like, for example, the merry-go-round thing, and he didn't understand what the hell was trying to point to. So you know how you look up at the sky and you can see stars rotating around a central point? That's, for us in the north, it's centered around Polaris. He was like, that is evidence that the sky is what's moving, not the Earth. So I said, okay, well, how about this? If you go to one of those flat merry-go-rounds that you see at a few parks around here, and you lay down on it, and as you're spinning, you put your head right in the middle of that merry-go-round, right on the axis, you will see that everything around you will rotate around a centralized point. Are you moving, or is the sky? Well, you would be moving in that case, but yet you're still getting the same effect. So just because you see stars rotating around a central point, that doesn't mean that the Earth is still. That also doesn't mean that the sky is still. That means either you or the sky is moving, and it's up to other observations, other measurements to determine what is actually moving.
Yeah.
He didn't understand what relative motion was.
Yeah, it leaves two possibilities. I want to get under something that's big and rotating as a disc, and put lights on it and then film it.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Because they really struggle to understand, right? To me, it's easy, but they struggle to understand that you can't have two celestial poles on a flat surface,
Earth,
right? That the expectation is that the southernmost, or the ones farthest away from the center, would be moving laterally much, much faster than any other stars. It wouldn't form
Yeah, they would be
point.
traversing across the sky. They'll be traversing over the horizon.
Yeah.
And then guess what? The northern celestial pole would be visible to everyone south of the equator. And yet they can't see shit. Go figure. It's almost as if there's a gigantic planet in the way.
Yes. Tommy Gronwald did it, and DKG Custom is saying try an umbrella. And yeah, that works. But I want it to be like affixed really well so that you can rotate it.
I was actually talking to was it Quantum Eraser and the 24/7 Flat Earth
Discord,
yeah. They all seem to believe that there's no such thing as a North or South Pole, and there's no such thing as an equator. I'm like, how the hell does that even work?
Well, you have to understand that Quantum Eraser is a certified dumbass. And also Quantum Eraser has a really bad habit of ignoring reality. He tends to do that a lot. And most of the time in his debates, you will find a common theme. What is that common theme? Non sequiturs out the ass all the time. He wants to make a claim that one thing leads to another, where if you follow his train of thought, that train's going to derail and end up on its side. Nothing that he says makes sense. In fact, a lot of what he says is dependent on you not going outside and doing your own observations, like, oh, I don't know, looking up with a camera and taking a long exposure shot.
It's true. This is true.
Yeah.
But how does a whole community like that believe the same thing? Like, how do you get someone to believe in that?
Well, because it's a cult following, in my opinion. There's a debate,
indoctrination.
There is a debate out there on whether or not Flat Earth is a cult. I won't go so far as to say that it is a cult. However, it has a cult-like mentality where if denying reality gets you closer to the flat earth, then by all means deny reality itself. So long as it gets you closer to the flat earth, that's all that matters. So of course they're not going to care that anyone with a digital camera can go outside and verify that there is a celestial pole. And it doesn't take a genius to call up someone like, let's say in Australia, to take a few shots of stars, and then for you guys to realize that, hey, they're two different skies, they're different stars altogether, and yet they're still rotating around a centralized point. So it's not a challenge to verify these things. However, just because it's not a challenge, that doesn't mean the intellectual dishonesty stops. Oh no, they just reinforce it. They say, listen, if you have to deny reality itself, then do it. Because at the end of the day, it's fair game to them.
True. It's just, for me, it's hard to imagine following a cult that has the different answers for the same question.
Yeah.
Like the moon. What is the moon?
Yeah. One person said that the moon was like a hologram, and I'm like, oh, whoa.
And like FTFE thinks it's an interdimensional portal, and like some other guy thinks it's a hologram.
Yeah, it's a hologram.
Thinks it's a wolf's chew toy. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that the craters are teeth marks, and I'm like, okay, first of all, Toon, I have a question. So the moon has been mentioned way before we had modern technology like TVs and projectors and stuff like that. The moon has been mentioned. You can even see it in some cave paintings, I think. At one point the moon was revered as a god. So clearly the moon existed before there was technology. So if the moon is a hologram now, that means the moon we have now is not the same moon that was there a few thousand years ago.
It's somebody else's technology. It's
I see. So my question is
the architect.
I have 3 questions actually. So question 1, who stole it? Where are they hiding it? How do you move something that weighs 7.2 times 10 to the 22 kilograms?
It was giants, the same giants that dug the moon out of the Grand Canyon and filled it with helium. Obviously. So Occam's razor.
I love when they use that. Dude. Sorry, Fohammer says QE also claims to be a long-range shooter, yet can't explain anything of the most basic principles of ballistics to someone who is a gunsmith like me.
Oh, he gets pissed off if you mention gravity or the fact that things accelerate to the Earth at 9.8 meters squared. He gets so mad at that. I don't know why.
Does he actually just deny that things accelerate?
Yeah, he gets really pissed off if you even mention acceleration. He gets really mad. It's really weird. I know what his deal is.
And people say that I have a temper, dude. Quantum Eraser, dude, that guy has the shortest fuse I have ever seen in my entire life. And like I said, it's all his entire argument hinges around ignorance. Not just any type of ignorance, though. Willful ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And his all the people that follow him, that they're just happy to be ignorant,
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, but I find that most of the people that follow him are just doing it for the attention. There's a lot of people are like not really believing it, but just saying, yeah, we believe it to get famous or some shit.
Well, let's wind the clocks back a few, because Quantum Eraser was also parroting this BS idea about flight charts. I don't know if he was part of the same group as Flat Earth Hero or whatever, but he was like, can you model, on using flat flight charts, a plane flying for a distance, turning 90, flying for a distance, turning 90, and then ending up at the point of origin? And I was like, yeah, you could. And in fact, Toon, didn't you actually?
I did, right up here.
Oh, yeah, there it is, hanging up. So he goes, well, what I did was, Flat Out Hero. That's what, Flat Out Hero. So Toon was like, okay, here's all of these charts. Let me go ahead and draw this line by putting all these charts together. And let me show you how you can get this turning 90 degrees. And, and it worked out. It was perfect. But guess what? Flat Out Hero refused to pay out the $100,000 because he simply refused any response to his challenge. So what's the point of making a challenge if you're not going to respond to the legitimate winners of your challenge? It's because you don't care about the answer in the first place.
Yeah, they've determined.
And Quantum Eraser is of the same mindset.
Yeah, they've determined before they issued the challenge that it is impossible.
Yes, exactly.
Which makes sense, right? I have a challenge, a gravity challenge, right? Do better at predicting the downward acceleration around the Earth than Newton's law and centrifugal force does.
I have a similar challenge.
And they won't even
model this out. Model with stars in the sky over flat Earth. Model an equatorial telescope mount working as it does in reality. That means follow a star while only rotating one axis. You will not be able to do it. It's a geometric impossibility. However, if you can do it, however you decide to break the laws of physics, go ahead, do it, and I'll believe it. But so far, no one's been able to meet that challenge.
And Bob Nodell has, in the video of him talking about the 15 degree per hour drift, has a telescope with an EQ mount on it in the background.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have a monetary challenge to flat earthers too. I will pay any flat earther $5 just to shut up forever. $5.
$5. Well, there was another one. There was a few flat earthers that made some claims, but I'll get to them in a moment because it kind of ties into this whole thing about intellectual dishonesty. But when it comes to just flat earthers in general, the reason why I say it's a cult-like mentality, but not necessarily a cult, is because there doesn't seem to be like a centralized church. I mean, they tried to make one, I guess, with the Flat Earth Conference or whatever, but then we can say like a car meets is a freaking cult, and that's not fair. So, but they follow the same cult-like thinking. Basically, reject everything that disagrees with the conclusion that we have already made for ourselves.
Exactly. Reject the outsider. That's
So, Rez, that reminds me, did you know that Nathan Thompson and Whitsitt are out there trying to debunk your rocket launches?
Nope.
One of the rocket launcher sites filming, trying to debunk you.
Oh, he was actually in Cape. Yeah, I heard that he made it to Cape Canaveral. Damn shame that I wasn't there. Otherwise, he could have gotten his hands on some better equipment than whatever the fuck he was bringing.
I don't know. It looked pretty flimsy. But
Yeah,
they're convinced that they've managed to debunk the rocket launches.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're not going to get anywhere anytime soon. I don't pay attention to that guy. I honestly don't, because I try not to pay attention to people that like to harass school children to the point where they get arrested for doing so.
To the point where they've locked down the entire school and had hundreds of children, well, look, probably dozens of children running inside to the safety of the school because there's a crazy person.
Scarred for life.
Honestly, probably. Like, you might say that as a joke, but I remember. Go ahead. Sorry.
I don't think they're scarred. I was kidding. I did watch the video that Nathan put out. For one thing is he got in an argument with all the people around them. Like all these idiot flurfs are like, it's all fake. And the people that are there to watch the rocket are like, shut the hell up and get out of here. But they did a video. He did a video of it going up, and it starts to curve a little. And they're like, it's curving and going into the ocean. Like, you can't debunk the globe Earth by not understanding it. It is doing exactly what it must do if the Earth is spherical.
Right. It's
and
like flat earthers.
Maybe it would, if the Earth were flat, go down into the water. But why wouldn't, if they're going to put the effort into faking it, why wouldn't they fake it right?
I've done this before. Pete and Peter made a similar claim about my rocket launch video. Now, Toon, remember the booster that we started this conversation on, or started this call on? That booster failed to stick the landing this time, but that booster's been flying since 2019.
Yeah.
I filmed that booster during a successful landing, and it was a launch to landing. It was SEOCOM 1B was the mission, and I captured it unbroken from launch to landing. It was the second time I ever managed such a thing. Filmed with the P1000, the flat earther camera of choice. But
he said it, guys, he said it.
Damn straight. So, but I filmed it from launch to landing. Now, two other flat earthers said Pete and Peter went on to that video and decided to spew some ignorance in my comment section. I made a video about this. It's on Fight the Flat Earth's YouTube channel, guys. But they said, pity you didn't film where the other part of the rocket went. Ho hum. And I'm like, do you really want to stick with that? So I showed them a transit video that Astronomy Live and I captured. And in that transit footage, you can see the perfect, it's an amazing outline of the space station against the moon. And there's no dragon on the front of the spacecraft. There is an empty parking spot. So then I record the launch of the Dragon with astronauts on board. That was for the, I believe it was the Crew 2 mission, or Crew 1 mission. So I saw it, I filmed it, and I posted on YouTube. Here's the Dragon going to the station. So that empty parking spot was about to be occupied. And then 15 days later, there was another transit. and I captured it again. And guess what was on the front of that station? The Dragon spacecraft. So we have no Dragon because there's an empty parking spot at the station. I then film the launch of the Dragon, and then I capture it docked to the station. And then Astronomy Live captured it before I did. And his footage is just amazing because it's not a silhouette. It's a full frame shot with the Dragon on the front of the space station. So before, during, and after the launch, you can see the outcome. It shows that when they launch these things, they actually do make it to orbit.
And what do they say to that?
They didn't say a goddamn thing. In fact, what happened was this. They decided not to even watch the video I made in response to their accusations. Instead, what they did was they complained about the fact that I have equipment that is sophisticated enough to capture that evidence in the first place. They said,
sweet.
"Oh, well, this just shows you're just doing it for the money." I go, let's hypothetically say that I robbed a bank to get this equipment. That doesn't debunk what the equipment showed. That doesn't debunk the fact that it captured the station with a Dragon attached to it.
Yeah.
So what the hell? And not only that, but I said, listen, the very moment this global pandemic thing is over with, why don't you come down to Florida? I'll put the controls in your hands so you can film it for yourself. And I made that offer to 2 flat earthers, or well, technically 3. I count Pete and Peter as one, but I gave it to both Pete and Peter. I said, if you make it to Cape Canaveral, I will give you controls to either the telescope or the Nikon P1000, both of which have auto tracking capabilities. Your tracking, your footage will be as smooth as glass. And then I also gave it to Leo, otherwise known as Level Earth Observer. And to this day, he still hasn't taken me up on my offer. I said, listen, if you think rockets are fake, then why don't you come down to Cape Canaveral and film it for yourself? You don't have to bring your equipment because apparently all he has is a cell phone to make videos with. So I'll give him control of the thousands of dollars worth of equipment I have to film these things. He can control it for himself and then keep the footage. It will be his footage, my gift to him. Guess what? He has not accepted my offer.
Now, is that
that.
because they would see your face? Just
well, I don't even have to be there. I don't even have to freaking be there. I said, listen, Astronomy Live can take care of it. And Astronomy Live is much better looking than I am. So you go there. The equipment will be set up. There'll be 2 tables. One table will have controls for the telescope. The other table will have the controls for the Nikon P1000 that is attached to the Celestron 6 SE mount. Pick which one you want to control and have at it.
There you go.
So then, Reds, are you saying that it is possible to pan across 9 miles?
Oh, yeah, go figure. The video producer apparently didn't understand what panning was.
Everything is panning.
Know how to do.
Everything.
Oh, that story is funny. Here's the thing about the dishonesty of flat earthers. He being JM Truth asked for uncut footage, not edited at all, of the Falcon Heavy launch because we had recorded it from launch to landing in one continuous shot. By we, I mean me, I filmed it, and Astronomy Live, he filmed it, unbroken from launch to landing. So what we did is we sent him the raw footage. He had to agree not to re-upload it because it didn't have my logo on it. It didn't have anything. You know, it was raw straight from the SD card. So we sent it to him. And after we sent it to him, he said that he would get back to us within a week after analyzing it to tell us how we faked it or whatever. Well, it turns out that he didn't even download the file to look at it before he decided to speak on it. And the reason is because somebody was trolling him. They pretended to be a flat earther and they gave him a whole bunch of points to say. And he's like, oh yeah, you're right. Oh yeah, that does look weird. Oh yeah, it does land in a different spot. And so he came to this debate thinking that he was given very good info, very good counter arguments or whatever. And he ended up proving that he didn't even watch the video. He didn't do any research to figure out if the video was legit or if it was fake. He just took the ramblings of some rando on the internet, took it as fact because it already agreed with his bias.
But Reds, there's a 20-second discrepancy, man.
Yeah, we debunked that too. We debunked that.
What about that?
They literally pulled 20 seconds out of their ass. They literally pulled a 20-second value out of their ass, and he fucking went for it. And so I then was like, dude, not only did you not even download the file, and so you didn't watch it, you didn't watch the raw, unedited footage, but you decided to take the word of some rando you just spoke to once on the internet over doing actual research, which is, by the way, what you said you were going to do over the freaking week you had access to the footage. Are you shitting me right now? So
he never even downloaded it. And how do you know that he didn't download it?
Because he admitted it on the actual recorded phone call. When the troll was talking to him, he was actually transcribing everything that was being said. And so when asked about the footage that Red's Rhetoric sent you, he says, well, I haven't even downloaded it, haven't even watched it. I need to download that to figure out what's wrong with it. Oh yeah, well, I took a look at it. Did you know that the sky is slightly different colors at this time frame and that time frame? Did you know that it doesn't land in the same spot that it took off from? And it totally should. And JM Truth ate all this garbage up, just ate it up, and then came to the debate armed with this knowledge, not understanding that he was about to make an ass out of himself.
Is that the one where Bob Nodell was telling Nathan that JM wasn't the right skill set?
Yes, that was right after that conversation. And so the conversation is on my channel, guys. The name is How JM Truth Got His Derp Back. And when you watch the video, it's like he was clearly not prepared. He clearly took advice from someone that he really shouldn't have. And it was a troll move. It was a troll move. However, it demonstrated that JM was dishonest. He said he did his own research when he objectively did not. And when confronted about it, he is still sticking to the story that, yeah, I did my own research, even though he was confronted with the fact that, dude, we're talking to the guy you spoke with. Like, what the hell? And here's another thing. We actually got somebody in the call who was a, quote, CGI expert, an actual one named DKG Custom.
He's in the chat right now.
Yeah.
Yep. And when he came on the screen, and by the way, it's in the same video, how JM Truth got his dirt back. He came onto the screen polishing his Emmy. Yeah. Oh, don't mind me. I'm just polishing my Emmy.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that meme that somebody made where JM was like, "You don't know what you're talking about when it comes to film. Polish his Emmy."
Yep, polishing his Emmy, and it was great. So. At first, JM was like, "Oh yeah, bring him on, whatever. I'll take him on." And then, literally 30 seconds later, it was, "Oh, that's not fair. That's not fair. That's not fair. I want him out. I don't want him there." But I was like, DKG Custom ain't going anywhere. You can run away like a little bitch if you want, but DKG Custom isn't going anywhere. And so we went down all of these points that he had, and one of the points was, and this is really funny. He legitimately thought that the rocket landed in the same spot it took off from.
Yeah, and that since it did not, that disproved it somehow.
Yeah. So he's like, notice how there's a launch tower, there's a water tower, there's these trees here, and notice where it lands. There isn't a launch tower, there isn't a water tower, there isn't the same trees or whatever. And I go, yeah, no shit. The landing zone and the launch pad are 9 miles apart, dumbass. He apparently couldn't do enough research into SpaceX landings, which have been happening since 2015.
And that's when he said,
Customs is a good point. It was all After Effects there, Red.
Yeah, he couldn't do research into a process that had been established back in 2015 that established clearly laying out that, hey, the process shows that the rocket launches from one site and lands at a different site. Imagine that.
Imagine that. Holy shit.
I can't believe that after JM Truth, somebody else came up with 10 to the negative 17 is not a negative number. All of the crap that he got for that, and still water's always level, said 10 to the negative 17 is not a negative number.
Obfuscation, denial. God, that guy. I will be honest. If there was one flat earther that I could just continuously watch, it would have to be Water's Always Level, just to watch his facial expressions. Like, oh God.
So Reds, could you explain about when DKG Custom took that video and made the and then did something and then showed it to Russian vids?
Not sure what he's referring to. I do know that he made a parody video for JM Truth, and that was actually quite hilarious.
It was the water tower taking off.
Yeah, the water tower was taken off instead of the rocket. And I go, damn, this is what an actual CGI artist is able to do. I was blown away by that.
So that was shown to Russian vids.
It was?
Yeah, when he was on my channel. I played it for Russian vids.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I don't remember. What did he say? DKG, what did he say about it? Oh. It's such a good video to see the water tower taken. We should get it on. DKG, do you have? Can you send me that? Because I don't have
that. That was a funny video. But again, it's highlighting the main point that I want to show here, which is when flat earthers are faced with just brute force reality, people like Quantum Eraser, JM Truth, Level Earth Observer, all of them will be more than happy to deny reality itself if it furthers their narrative. Their narrative being, Earth is flat, don't question me about it. Even though the facts clearly disagree with me, I'm going to go ahead and swallow whatever BS I need to convince myself that the Earth is flat. Again, it's cult-like thinking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that reminds me. Quiddy's a sprinkler has, if you look at him, he has a Space Force logo next to his name. That is the, I added some little emojis there for members. So I think that's the 1 year is the Space Force logo. All right, sorry, keep going. I think King Crew, you're saying something?
Oh no, I forgot what I was saying. I'm sorry.
Okay.
No problem. I can keep slamming them sideways, because
DKG put that video in the chat.
I'm getting it going.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, JM Truth was another person I made that offer to, and I'm like, yeah, come on down to Florida. You don't even have to bring your really expensive equipment because you can use my really expensive equipment. We'll put the controls in your hands and you can pan the 9 miles and see that it's possible. So but once again,
he was definitely one of.
Begs the question: what are these guys so afraid of?
James Truth is not just
it's joysticks, throttle, and telescope, dude. Come on.
Yeah, but JM Truth is a modified sniper as well, so he's very busy.
Oh, of course. Oh yeah, you got to make sure you're modify whatever the fuck that means.
All right, I'm gonna play. He said Russian vids thought it was real. Russian vids thought this video was real until the cut.
That's epic.
So no sound is coming, just video. So you guys will have to watch on the live stream if you're gonna.
Yeah, it's coming in weird. It's off center. There we go.
It paused. Why did it pause? There it is. I'll have to move forward here.
In reality, the closest this cloth-eared clock will come to science is by the action of the gravitational forces that the Earth provides to keep his toothpaste behind on the ground. But a man of these claimed credentials cannot go to waste, so he's been tasked to bring his genius to the forefront of scientific endeavour at SpaceX. Come on, JM, I'm sure you can bring some enlightenment to these struggling engineers.
So let's get started. First, we are told by mainstream science that we live on a globe, that there's an atmosphere, and just beyond that atmosphere, there's a vacuum of space and stars and the sun and all this stuff. I want us to think from a point of reason and a point of logic, and not the modern day logic, because that's actually insanity. As you know, space and all that crap is all crazy. So if even space existed, there's no such thing as astrophysics. It's a term they conjured up to make you go, oh, astrophysics. He's a really smart, dumb guy.
So, with JM's guidance, we can be safe in the knowledge that today's launch will be one to remember. Crowds have arrived to enjoy the spectacle, including Red's rhetoric. Look, there he is. So, without further ado, let's hand over to Reds as he records this historic moment.
I love it. It's so amazing.
See it?
It looks great too,
Man. Oh my God.
Stop debating flat Earth. Flat Earth is not a debate, folks. Flat Earth is a science topic, and you don't debate science.
God.
Good old JM.
Good old JM, man. I think that's the first time good and JM have been in the same sentence together, honestly.
So now that's from DKG, who does not use After Effects. I think he uses
uses a program, I believe it's called Nuke.
Yeah, and I love how if you pay close attention to that, the rocket goes behind power lines, and when the power lines are in front of it, in the one that DKG did, the rocket, the light from the rocket does not, or from the flames, does not overpower the power lines. I love that little, good job there, DKG. That's an awesome little effect.
Now you guys see exactly why JM Truth was so scared to talk to this guy, because he knows what he's doing. And he was so ready to call BS on JM. But wow.
I've been messing with After Effects a little bit lately, and there's so much to it. Holy cow. I'm so new at it. DKG, amazing work.
Yes, amazing work. And, but like I said, he has an Emmy.
It's true.
Yep.
For a reason.
Don't mind me. I'm just polishing my Emmy. Look at that Emmy right there. See that? Look at that.
Not that I don't like resin on JM, but how's everybody dealing with this cold? Like
the cold temperatures?
Yes. If you
I'm
can
in
see,
Florida, so yeah, it doesn't really bother me too much.
I am in Ohio, and
Oh, shit.
I have 2 windows in my room, neither of which are properly insulated. So it genuinely feels like I'm sitting outside right now. It's freezing in here. Well, probably not freezing.
Yeah,
but...
it's cold where I am too. I actually got stuck today in the driveway.
Oh, let's see. Hold on a second. Glober Mom said she did a 2-part video on the debate and a Nathan and JM talking afterward from Nathan's channel. The delusion was real with both of them. Yeah, and then she said they had a phone conversation on Nathan's stream after they rage quit the debate. Glober Mom, did you download? Do you have that? Because of course Nathan's channel is gone. Oof. That would be. If you have that, send it to me. I'd like to see that. These guys, I don't download enough of them, so then their channel gets deleted and it's gone. So
yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, I was working on a video which was 2020 in a nutshell for Nathan Thompson, and it was just going to be the dumbest stuff Nathan said through in 2020, and
well,
I really like
that's going to be a 33-hour long video,
That's a long ass video, bro. God damn. Got time for that.
There was one that I really liked that nobody picked up on. He found this book that said something about if the earth was flat, that meant that Satan was patient 0 for AIDS. And he thought that it was a genuine, like somebody actually making that argument that the earth is flat and Satan was patient 0 for AIDS. And about halfway through the video, he realized that it was like taking a piss on flat earth. Like, this is the dumb stuff that biblical flat earthers believe. And I really wish I had downloaded that video because it was hilarious. It upset me that I never got to make that video. Oh God.
It's
Nathan, man. He's like the butt of every joke. The poor guy, man. He doesn't catch a break.
Well, I mean, there's some other butts of jokes like Witsit.
Yeah, but keep in mind that poor guy does it to himself. I mean, when you're such a coward that you won't leave your own echo chamber.
Well, outfits are from Harvard. Yeah, I mean,
we've been
kind of stupid.
When I really want to set up a debate with a flat earther, like for example, if Toon invites me on to debate with someone, then fine, it's whatever. But if I were to set up a legitimate debate with a flat earther, there is rules that I want the flat earther to stick to, and I will stick to those rules as well. And that is, we both provide a model and we need to present evidence for that model. I'm not talking about evidence against me. I will provide evidence for my model. They will provide evidence for their model. And then in the rebuttal phase, we'll go ahead and tear each other's models to shreds. Only one flat earther has actually agreed to those terms, and it was Jeranism. And Jeranism got absolutely destroyed by me. Absolutely obliterated, because he was forced in that debate to make an admission. And that admission is, I don't have a model, and that it is more reasonable to believe that the earth is round and that their orbits exist and that NASA's not lying. He was forced to admit that it is more reasonable to be on our side of the debate. So if it is more reasonable to be on our side of things, what the fuck is he pushing? BS? Things he can't back up? Because he actually, and I caught him using this quote before, and I mentioned it in the debate itself. He says that people would rather believe his words, well-crafted lie than the truth that has a few holes in it. So he acknowledges that there are inherent problems with the flat earth idea, but he doesn't want to acknowledge them or bring attention to them. And basically, he's just going to ignore that those holes even exist and claim that his truth is the truth and that our model, which can make predictions, is not the truth. Why? Because he wants it to be. That's intellectual dishonesty for you.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's interesting. So on Facebook this last week, I think it was Wednesday, FTFE and I have said we want to do a 2v2 on modern day debate. But of course the problem with modern day debate is he's not a good moderator, right?
Oh no, he sucks. He absolutely sucks as a moderator.
For people like flat earthers, most flat earthers, especially people like Thompson and Whitsitt and stuff like that. So I said
again, I want to make this clear. I have nothing against the guy. He is a good dude. He is a really good dude. However, not a good moderator.
Yeah. So I said, well, excuse me. I said, let's do this. Let's have a structure. So I went and I wrote an actual formal structure to debate based on the MACE format for debates. And it's on my website. And issued a challenge on Facebook to do a 2v2 debate. And it's using this modified MACE format, and only positive evidence is allowed.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of like what I wanted. I want them to present evidence for the flat earth, not against the globe. Because here's the thing. You can go ahead and destroy my model left, right, and center. That doesn't mean that your model is right. So you need to provide evidence for your model, and Jeranism was the only one to actually answer the call. Well, that's because he owed me. And so when I make a similar challenge like this to, let's say his boyfriend, Bob from Globebusters, or the Morgile, or Dearth, none of them actually show up. None of them answer the call, and the reason is simple: because they don't have evidence for their model. What they have is conjecture and bullshit and conspiracy theories, and they have absolutely nothing solid to back up the claim that the Earth is flat.
There is that. They're also on the fence that it's not their job to provide evidence. No matter who you talk to, it's always the same bullshit. That's not up to us.
If they're the ones making the assertion that the Earth is flat, then they need to provide evidence for that claim.
Yeah, they don't get that, apparently.
Yeah, this is basic shit 101. If you make an assertion, provide evidence to back up your assertion. It's not up to me to find evidence for your assertion. You need to back that shit up yourself. But unfortunately, they don't. When I show up to a debate ready to present evidence for my model, I present evidence for my model. That is observations that I have done, observations other people have done, the mathematics that coincide with those observations, and the conclusion that those mathematics shows, the conclusion that the footage shows or the picture shows, that kind of thing.
And come on, Reg, you can just turn with a wicked After Effects project.
Yeah. And
hey, DKG.
Hello, gang.
Hello.
But been a while.
The best part about this tune is that every single piece of evidence that I provide in my debates, none of it, absolutely none of it, comes from NASA. Yeah. This is all shit that we have all done ourselves. So I point to observations that Slice of Arcane has done, that I have done, that Sean Hufford has done, or the investigations that you have done, MC. I basically we have a network here where we can make a cumulative case for the globe without ever having to go to NASA and take their word for it. No, we did not go to NASA. That's what makes our arguments so powerful. It shows that people with basic connections and access to the internet can figure this shit out for themselves. And you don't have to be a PhD to do it.
Yep.
Hail NASA.
So let's see. Gary Wybenga. So somebody's mentioning Extra J was saying he's trying to get Gary Wybenga to debate me, but says I'll mute him for no reason, so he won't do it. Now I occasionally have muted people because they just won't shut the hell up, right? They'll ask a question. You ever have this, Reds? They'll ask a question, and then you start answering, and then they interrupt immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm more than happy to have people say, oh, Red's rhetoric is rude. Red's rhetoric is this and that and stuff like that. Here's the thing, though. If you treat me with respect, I will treat you with respect. That's the way it works. It's a two-way street. Yes, my voice has kind of a resting bitch face. That's fine. However, I will treat you with respect if you give me the common courtesy of allowing me to respond to your question. Don't interrupt me. I won't interrupt you. That's the way it works. And if I do accidentally over talk, if I talk over you, I will apologize. I'll be like, you know what, you're right. I interrupted you. That's fine. I'm more than happy to have a civilized conversation. The reason why I act like an asshole all the time is because I'm simply returning the courtesy that I have been shown by other flat earthers.
Well, it doesn't help. You just ended up talking to assholes in the first place.
Hey guys,
they were assholes before they were flurfs.
Yeah, it's not a chicken and egg. They were that way first.
Do you guys smell vanilla and shame? Oh, Bernie Beaver's in the chat. That makes sense.
Oh,
okay.
What beaver?
Beaver.
Oh,
but so. Yeah, it all comes down to, and Gary, yeah, I've challenged him to a debate multiple times. The dude refuses to get into a call with me. Refuses, absolutely refuses, because he knows that the very moment he tries to push his nonsense, I'm going to counter it with facts, evidence, observations that I have done. And by the way, these observations are ones that he can do himself. If he so chooses. He just chooses not to because he's dishonest.
Not just that he's a parrot. He just parrots everything he sees and hears.
Well, MC Toon,
almost every day, copy and pasting shit over and over and over. I'm like, why, dude?
When was the last time, MC Toon, that you have been in a debate, and you've been in quite a lot of debates? When was the last time anyone actually brought any semblance of evidence? Anything? Apart from something that somebody drew on a sketchbook and said, there you go, here's my evidence.
Infinite years ago.
Can I ask?
When you were hanging around with what was his name? A trusted knees, achy knees, lumpy knees, whatever his name was.
Yeah, never.
Chinese, Japanese, look at these.
This trick, like there's a few of them that try to do this. They're like, the Earth presents itself as flat, and it's observably flat. It's not a claim. I don't need to back up my claim. It just appears flat, therefore it's flat.
Yeah,
and now you have the burden of evidence, since I have made that claim. That's not a claim that you can't refute. Because it's not a claim. And you know it's not a claim because I said that it's not a claim.
Brilliant.
That's
they are so sweet.
The new tactic.
It's always a a little slide game that they want to play. Why not? I have an idea. How about just be honest? Is that too much to ask?
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah,
but if they did that, they wouldn't have any arguments.
Step 1 of being a flat earther. Believe a lie. Step 2 of being a flat earther, repeat that same lie. Step 3, advanced ones only, make up new lies.
Apparently, one of the steps is ask for evidence, then don't even
look at it.
Click the download button to get said evidence that you yourself asked for. Neat. Okay, so that's how we're fucking doing shit.
But here's the second part of my question. I'm gonna. This one's for Reds. Now you've been in this game a lot longer than most of us, and do you think these, like the evidence presented by flat earthers has, shall we say, degraded severely over the past few years? Because I'm sure you used to have debates with these flat earthers on much older videos where they will actually try to present you with something.
That's a difficult question. The reason why it's difficult is because when they were first presenting evidence to me, when I first got into this game, they were producing cat shit. So I'm asked to judge the quality of the cat shit that I have been given over the years that I've been doing.
Yeah, is it got a bit runnier? It's got a bit runnier.
It's always been shit, though. It's always been terrible. There's never been a coherent argument for the flat Earth other than, well, it looks flat to me, therefore it must be.
It's the only experiment that they try to do. There's only one. What's the one experiment that everybody in the chat? What's the one experiment that they'll ever do? There's only one. All right. We got to give the chat a second to.
Okay, tell me when I can say.
And then I'll ask them, and so I do this on Facebook all the time. I say, well, do you have measurements? I first present measurements, right? mc2.net/r, measurements of the radius of the Earth. So now, do you have measurements? Now, when you have a measurement, make sure it has units, significant digits, and a margin of error analysis. I never get an answer. They just go silent when they do it. But every once in a while, I get one. Somebody sent me to John Dee's peer-to-peer experiment, which is, let's see, what are they? Oh, somebody said Michelson Morley. Laser tests.
Well, they don't do that experiment. They reference
they just
it
bitch about it.
Yeah.
All right, Reds. What is the one they do? I kind of said it already.
Okay, so the one they do is either ships disappearing over the horizon, or can you see this light from this far away? That kind. They'll do that, and they'll always fuck it up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, they suck at this. And it goes back to the question that DK asked me. Has the evidence gotten better? No, it hasn't. However, it has gotten more desperate. So I guess in that, if you look at it that way, the quality, quote, quality of evidence has actually gotten worse because now it just reeks of desperation.
Oh, yeah. They've gone to the point where they're trying to redefine words.
Yes, exactly. Like not understanding the word level. Level means flat. And I go, hey, let me ask you something. There's a shelf that with marbles rolling off of it. Is it level? No. Is it still flat? Yes. Then why the fuck is this an argument? Why are you arguing semantics to try and prove a geometric problem, you asshat?
It's like water's always level. I swear, you couldn't have gone 3 minutes without him either citing the etymology of a word or trying to tell you what that actually means.
As if that proves anything. For us, it doesn't mean it for us too, right? The word level means curved surface, but that doesn't prove it. It's measurements that is the, that's the evidence. And so for him, he has no evidence. It's just playing word games. That's his only thing. And that's most of them,
But MC2, you know that gas pressure can't exist next to a vacuum.
Then you have my rocket launches that demonstrate that actually, yes, they can.
I've never understood how they think that gas pressure and atmospheric pressure are the same thing. Like, why do they think that?
Well, going back to the quality of evidence. See, at the beginning it was, we can see so far. The angular size of the sun. There were the good fundamental arguments, but then once those fundamental arguments to flat Earth got rejected and destroyed, basically they went to more, what about semantic this? What about Newton was a rapist here and was a virgin and whatnot? I'm like, this shit is desperate as hell.
Oh yeah, Einstein married his cousin.
Yeah, Einstein married his
How's that
cousin.
A thing?
Right?
True or not, it's not, doesn't change the shape of the Earth.
So basically, they'll go ahead and say that Neil deGrasse Tyson is wrong. But the very moment he says, the Earth is sort of kind of pear-shaped, they'll go ahead and latch onto that shit and run with it. And it shows their confirmation bias. So when I say that the quality of evidence has gotten worse, I mean that their evidence has gotten a lot more desperate over the years. Beforehand, when I first started doing this shit, it wasn't as desperate. Now, it most certainly is desperate. We had Jeranism saying that, oh, you shouldn't believe Stephen Hawking because he has to speak through a computer. How do you know those are actually his thoughts? And I'm like, oh, go fuck yourself.
Oh my god. Oh, that's brutal. Ay.
So they would go to arguments like that and try to make the claim that that proves that you should, at the very least, doubt the globe in some way, shape, or form. And I'm like, no, it doesn't mean that at all. What it actually means is that you guys are reaching. You guys are reaching hard for anything. It's this game where you throw random garbage at the wall and just see what sticks, if anything sticks at all. And that is the desperation I'm talking about. It was the desperation you saw in every single one of Jeranism's videos, which I guess explains why they're all now privated.
Are they still gone, huh?
I mean, I just love how they all want to say that, oh, NASA lies. NASA's not see this. But then they want to quote NASA. I'm like, what the fuck?
They'll misquote in those documents that they don't understand.
They lie so much. You hate them so much. Why are you quoting them so much? Like, I don't get it.
So, all right, for people wondering, if you ever see somebody that's like, NASA admits flat Earth, I have them all reviewed on my website. I read much more of those documents than any flat earther did. mc2.net/govdocs, or you can just go to my website and search for it.
Have you got the page on your website that explains that the dome isn't actually like glass? It's more like a self-healing jelly. That's why rockets are pointy, so they can squish through, and then it heals up behind.
I missed that peer-reviewed paper.
Oh, right. Okay, I'll send it to you.
All right, Alex has a question I think good for the panel here. Is there anything besides red-blue shift that is evidence that Earth orbits the sun?
Yes, the impossibility of the contrary. That's another one. Here's one. If you want objects to rotate around the Earth, you need a force to keep it bound to the Earth so that it can go around the Earth in an orbit, correct?
Yeah.
Now, if you were to go further and further out in Earth orbit, you will see that as you get further out, your orbit will slow down. As you increase distance, gravity becomes slightly weaker, so you don't need to travel as fast in order to maintain a stable orbit. However, in the geocentric model, everything is going around the Earth, no matter their distance, in a 24-hour period, roughly. Now, in order for these objects to stay in orbit around Earth at all these different speeds, at their respective distances, that means the Earth would have to be multiple masses at the exact same time. Now, how is this possible? Fucking magic, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. And unicorn farts. Don't forget unicorn farts.
So, if we were to look at the heliocentric model, we see that assumption of magic doesn't have to come into play. It's a coherent model, and it's a model that makes accurate predictions based on the mathematics that govern it.
All right. Parallax is another one. I put just dropped a 1 of 5 parallax measurements that I have listed in the chat there. Yeah, I think parallax is a pretty good one. And the nice thing is that a lot of the parallax measurements that we can find are not taken from space, therefore not reliant on NASA. So I always look for things because they love to go to NASA. I love to just stick it in their face, be like, I never go to NASA. What are you talking about?
I mean, I'll go to NASA. Here's the thing. I will go to NASA for a few things, but however, that is a personal curiosity. When I'm having a discussion with a flat earther, I will never, ever reference NASA.
Yeah,
because I
you
want to
don't
be
have
able to say truthfully, well, I didn't go to NASA. I didn't take their word for it. And if I can figure this out, surely you can. I'm a nobody from Florida. I'm nobody special.
On the contrary,
Reds.
on the contrary, Reds, I love shoving NASA in their faces, and they'll just go fake, 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 fake. Well, prove it. Show me the fake.
Yeah,
and then they'll all they'll do is revert back to that, those tiny clips of it's like video distortion on the ISS and say or wires and on the ISS, and
we all know that Reds is the original
same old
NASA
shit
show
every single time.
You can do that though. And the reason is because you'll say, okay, look at this footage from NASA. They'll say it's fake. You'll say, no, it's not. They'll say, how you know? I go, I have a fucking Emmy.
Well, I once said, I showed them the 1 hour long stream of the ISS where the guy's doing the tour, and just basically asked them, please put together a visual effects budget on how you would do this, and let me know how much it would cost. And it would probably cost more than the ISS.
I remember when Nathan Thompson was so proud of himself because he remembered that he looked up that NASA in Hebrew means to deceive. I'm like, bro, NASA's not a word, man. It's a fucking acronym.
Well,
what are you doing?
It's more than that. NASA means to lift up in Hebrew.
And they always
proud of that.
They always go back to that one. Of course, it's Photoshop, but it has to be.
I'm so sick of that.
I swear, I see that more than I see my own mother. Honestly, like.
Yeah, not wrong. You're not wrong about that.
Yeah, it was.
And it wasn't a gotcha. And it wasn't a gotcha either. It wasn't like they found this out. It was this is NASA telling you how they did it. And how they did it works perfectly fine. It's not like they caught NASA with their pants down.
Right, NASA.
And if they did fake it in that way, then why would they talk about it?
Exactly. It's like
still part of the master plan.
Here's what they actually said. When you have satellites in orbit, they can be many distances away. So you can have a low Earth orbit, you can have geostationary orbit, and so on. However, the lower your orbit, the less of the Earth you actually see. So what happens is that they do scans. They scan this part of the Earth, they scan that part of the Earth, they scan that part of the Earth. And then what they do with these scans, these images, is that they stitch them together into a final image. And guess what? NASA says this is a composite over multiple orbits or whatever, and then they show the image. So I asked a flat earther, I have to find this video, it's on my channel somewhere, but it was, if I take a picture of my car, but I do it this way, I take a picture of the bumper and then the roof and then the door and then the back bumper and then the wheels and the windows, and then don't forget the pigs.
Don't forget the pigs and the grill.
Yeah, the pigs, exactly. So I stitch them all together. Does that mean my picture of the car, the final result after I stitch all these images together, that it's a fake car?
Right.
And guess what? One person actually said, yes, that would mean that car is not real and that you're lying to us.
Wow.
That is the level of derp you have to go to believe in the flat Earth. I have to find that clip because that was hilarious.
The level of derp you have to go to believe in the flat Earth starts with being able to be convinced that the Earth is flat.
You gotta be pretty stupid. Yeah.
So we've got in the chat Alex, who I think is a geocentric guy, who asked that previous question. Good question. And Alex, you have my email address. Send me an email and I'll send you a Zoom link and you'll be right in here.
Yeah, but also
with a laser gyro
model. Planets do these loop-de-loops. What force is responsible for that? Can I get an answer to that, please? That'd be great.
That's the key. Yeah.
It's magic.
Yeah.
What it
I
is.
know. I missed
Magic.
this one, Reds, because Fohammer said, "Debate is over. It looks flat to Reds, so it's flat." There you go.
Well, those pigs were certain flat when I was done with them. Radiator bacon, yum.
Yeah, they came sliced.
Oh, let me tell you something. The police report mentioned that I hit 4 pigs. When I reviewed the dash cam footage, I actually only hit 3. One of them was split in half and was counted as a separate pig.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, that'll be important in the trial.
Didn't they count the legs?
I mean, I don't
You could have worked it out with a bit of math.
It was
Mangled.
nasty.
Mangled, yeah.
It was two pigs and 2 bipedal pigs.
Well, Tune, when I woke up the next morning, there were flies all around my car because pieces of pig was still wedged underneath the car.
How's that different than usual?
Yeah, right.
I usually put perfume on.
Oh, all right. So, funny thing, talking about flies around a vehicle. Friends of mine bought a mid-70s Ford pickup truck. We called it the good truck, and we did things to the good truck. My friend removed all the paint on the hood and then spritzed it with salt water every day just to get it as rusty as possible. There was a corner of the truck that if you had to go to the bathroom, that's where you went. We gouged it like crazy. We installed speakers in the roof by cutting holes and then built a surround out of plywood for each of them. But here's the point. They went to the, that greasy spoon diner at the outside of town that every town has, Yeah. In the back, there was that bin of grease that they dumped the grease in. So they went there, they got a 5-gallon bucket and they covered the hood with this grease.
Oh God, that doesn't sound like a smart idea.
No, it was that. They're like in hindsight, that was not the way to go. There were wasps and hornets that found it and liked it. And then they were, I wasn't here for this, but they went to a grocery store and went in and came back out, and there was a crowd of people around it, and the police were there, and they're like, "What is this?" There was other things that they had done to it, but it was dripping on the ground because it was warm that day, so all the grease was dripping on the ground, and the cops like, "What are you? You got to clean that up." So my friend reaches in, tears off a piece of foam from the seat because it was open, like ripped up, and then sopped up some of the grease from the ground and like put it back up on the hood. And the cop's like, just all right. You see that road there? That's the city limits. Don't come back.
Oh,
there you go.
Oh man.
Oh,
it was. That's terrible.
It was the good truck was a fun vehicle for sure.
Rest in peace, good truck.
Yeah.
Wow.
Here's a good. This is a great question.
Effed Up World is apparently saying that he uploaded a video, and I'm looking at this what can only be described as a pile of manure, and he's like, "Oh, it seems like he wants to debate." Effed Up World, why wait? Want to have one? I'm ready to go, partner. If MC Toon will have you.
Hang on, I'll get me Emmy.
Yeah, go get the Emmy. I'm going to need you to polish that in the background continuously.
I'll get the Vim out.
Well,
now in order to make this more hilarious. So DK, I need you to polish the ME continuously. Jord, I'm going to need you to make sexy sloppy noises continuously, and And crew, if you can do me a favor, I need you to make noises as if you're opening a condom wrapper continuously, and it's just a never-ending wrapper. So just go for it.
I can do that, absolutely.
And MC Tune, I'm going to need you to try not to look awkward the entire time while all of this is happening. You need to keep a straight face, my guy.
How am I going to not look awkward?
Like it's normal Tuesday for you. But
the first time ever.
Okay, so DK, you polish. Jord, you're sloppy.
I'm polishing.
Crew, you're safe.
I don't have any condom packets that large.
Oh, dude, I going all day. Don't worry. I got you.
Yeah, I got plenty. Extra large.
Mine are that large.
Extra large. Extra large.
Yeah.
And then I got small just to make everybody feel like I'm not a monster.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that degraded quickly.
Wait, I got it. Jordan, while you're busy making sexy noises, when you get to a really big one, Tune, you need to say "use the force" with a serious voice.
Use the force, George. Oh God! I will stop making those noises only for the people in chat, not because I like you guys, just because the people.
But George, if you are going to interrupt, it can only be to say one thing and one thing only.
Basic trigonometry.
Well, not just that, but you also have to say, "Call me Colonel Sanders. Call me Colonel Sanders. Here comes the Colonel's original recipe."
What the hell is that?
That reminds me of oh God, it was Afro Man. No, yeah, Afro Man. I met Colonel Sanders' wife in the state of Kentucky. I won't continue going on because it's got some bad words, but I gave her my secret blend of herbs and spices.
Oh.
Was that Afro Man? I feel like that was Afro Man. I don't know though.
So I still have not. Yep. I've not gotten an email yet from Alex, and he's still in the chat here. Alex, maybe you want to set up a different time, and we can dedicate just talking to you sometime if you want.
Listen, Alex. Geocentrism, all right, in all seriousness, geocentrism.
He's saying not geocentrism, he's saying tychoism. Whatever difference that is.
Yeah,
he doesn't like the silver nose.
The idea that the Earth is stationary has been debunked, and it's debunked because of the impossibility of that model actually being true, given what we have discovered and found and measured. If you were to adopt the geocentric model, you would find yourself agreeing with contradictions. You would be making the claim that contradictions happen, they exist, they're with us all the time. Like, for example, the Earth being multiple masses at the exact same time. That is a contradiction, unless you want to say, magic.
Which the flurfs aren't, they're not too proud to appeal to magic.
And isn't it true, MC Tune, that if you go all the way out to Pluto, in order for Pluto to make that trip around us in a 24-hour period, it would have to be breaking the speed of light?
Yes.
Good luck explaining that one away.
I think you have to go to try to, salvage some explanation from it. You have to say, well, there's a firmament and it's closer and everything is just a projection on it. You have to go back to that thing.
Yeah. So, doesn't match what we've been able to discover with parallax measurements, and also we've sent spacecraft there.
Oh yeah.
And guess what they used? To navigate and to plan their gravitational assist and stuff like that. Not the geocentric model.
Hey, that's true. So, all right, let me read this. Two things. Fohammer says, Tune is even more awkward than I am. Okay, maybe not. That's, I guess, that could be a debate topic. And then Toss the Dwarf. This is a really good one. I don't understand why gravity is the hill they want to die on.
Wait,
why? Because they can't explain it on their model. It's like a gigantic thorn. It's okay. If you have a model with an Achilles heel like that, especially that massive, you need to do whatever you can to get rid of that weakness. So they come up with all sorts of BS to at least disguise the fact that that weakness exists with the flat Earth model.
Well, like they did with NASA.
I don't know.
Did you say there was somebody in the chat named Toss the Dwarf?
Yes.
I don't know for a fact, but I think that's a reference to me and FTFE playing Dungeons and Dragons together. # Throw the Dwarf. If anybody watches Globers and Goblins, they'll understand that. # Throw the Dwarf.
Well,
you guys don't watch me. I only watch you. I get it.
I've watched
I'm buying some curtains tomorrow.
Ooh.
Not looking at watching me.
If the Earth is flat, Jordan could see you with his telescope.
I can see everyone everywhere.
Oh, it's from Lord of the Rings. No, wait. He says, yes, it is. Yes, it is a reference to that. So here is why, Toss the Dwarf and everybody. Gravity is mass attracting mass. If the Earth were flat, the mass of the Earth would cause the entire Earth to collapse into a sphere right away. So,
and by the way, in that process, it would kill us all. Yes,
in rather interesting ways, I suppose. Many of us would wind up kind of mushed in the middle of this newly formed planet. So,
sorry, Tim, I missed all that. I couldn't hear the sound of the Emmy being polished.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Hang on, we have a comment, effed up world at Reds. That seems like a contradiction to me, still to say that the motion of the sky proves the Earth can't be a certain shape. I never made that claim. We're already past the shape. We're already underneath the understanding that the Earth is a sphere. Now we're talking about a different subject, which is the motion of that sphere. So put a ball on a table. Is it moving? No. Has it stopped being a ball? No. Then why the fuck is this an argument? Now, if we get past that point, we say, okay, I agree that the Earth is a sphere. Congratulations for catching up to the rest of us. Nice to have you. Now the next conversation to have would be, well, is the sphere actually rotating, or are we being rotated around? Is the sun at the center of the solar system, or are we the center of the solar system? That's the next conversation. That's the next debate to have. And I'm already past the conversation of the shape of the Earth in this conversation. So no effed up world. I did not make the claim that you say I made. Those are two different discussions.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Keith Shipley. If anybody's familiar with the comments on the videos, Keith Shipley likes to comment and and has no grasp of the English language. And so here's an example. Keith Shipley says, the best scientists of today all been ask, prove, show, proven, isolated virus.
What?
I'll say it again. You did not have a stroke. I'll read it again. The best.
Sounds like I'm having a stroke.
I was worried there for a second,
All right, here we go.
because I was reading that along with you.
Yeah.
I'm stroking right now.
No.
All right. The best scientists of today all been asked, prove, show, proven, isolated virus.
I think he might be talking about Cox postulates there.
Yes. Well, no, isolated virus. Yeah, Cox postulate for viral infections. It's called, Rivers modification of it. So
I think I had that once and I got a cream for it.
Oh, that could be taken a couple ways, even. All
I don't know.
equally strange.
I don't want to know what your Cox postulates look like, DKG.
So yes, that is it is Cox postulate. In fact, Keith Shipley, if that is in fact what that stroke-induced comment means, I will, for your benefit, put in here the isolation of it. So first, I'll start with this link right here, which is the sequence. That's the National Health Service from England, their website on it. Here is right now. There you go. That is the genetic sequence. All right. Now, in case you're wondering about Cox postulate modified for viral diseases, there it is. A discussion of Cox postulate modified by Rivers for viral diseases. And then fulfilling Cox postulate right here in mice. There it is. SARS-CoV-2 in transgenic mice. Fulfilling Cox postulate modified by Rivers for viral diseases.
I didn't know there was going to be any long words in this tonight.
After that world just said the most stupidest thing I've heard in my life.
Exactly. The solar system thing. He says, who here has ever seen a solar system? I see lights in the sky doing what they always do and have done, but no solar system unless we conceptualize. Dude, I've taken images of Mars. And I haven't. Astronomy Live, my friend, and I was there when he did this, took an image of Mars and was able to see Olympus Mons. They're more than just lights in the sky. We can actually see mountains on these other worlds. They're not just lights. They're physical objects.
If you use a fucking binoculars or a telescope, you can see clearly they're not lights in the sky. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Well, also with like just a Nikon, just a freaking Nikon, you can see the rings of Saturn. You can also see the crescent of Venus, and you can actually see like the cloud layers on Jupiter. These are dynamic worlds. They're more than just lights in the sky. Anyone with a telescope would tell you this.
But Red, you're forgetting the fact that all these modern pieces of equipment have got fantastic game engine style 3D graphics built into them, so when you look at a light, it generates the image that you expect to see.
Yeah, hey Toon, did you know that the shaped mirrors in these tubes apparently run on a 3080?
3080
graphics card.
Yes. Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, no.
They have even these old ones, even the old ones that predate computers do, I suppose.
Introducing mirrors by Apple. They're like normal mirrors, but it's more expensive.
So here's Effed Up World is saying, have you taken a picture of the solar system? Which of course we're in the solar system.
The solar system.
So yeah, in one sense, every picture we take is of the solar system. In another sense, no, we're not ourselves far enough away, but we've sent things far away, and we've got pictures of the solar system from Voyager things. Now, Effed Up World accepts that we send things to space. And I think then that by extension, you accept that we've sent robots to Mars, and that in fact something's going to be trying to land on Mars tomorrow.
Yep,
I think that you accept that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but what? Yeah, go ahead, Reds.
Fun fact: I actually filmed the launch of the Perseverance rover. I filmed it. I saw that son of a bitch hauling ass to space. Video on my channel, guys.
I don't want to break your bubble here, but being a film industry insider, you do realize they're not actually sending a robot to Mars. It's actually an animatronic system with a whole team of Henson's crew who are going to puppeteer it and push it around on sticks and rods and paint out the green rods.
DKG, if I was you, DKG, I would start every sentence as an Emmy Award winner.
There you go.
Yes.
I'm not that kind of a cocky cunt.
No. Do it, coward. Do it.
Sorry, MC.
I forgot what I was saying.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I do that to people.
It's all right. You all can be sorry for making Toon lose his train of thought.
There is a guy calls himself former secret agent. He maybe did, Robert David Steele. Dumb as a box of hair. Dumb as a box of hair. He thinks, because he's a gigantic cucumber. He thinks that there are kids born in underground tunnels with no birth certificates, and then NASA ships them to Mars for slave labor. No kidding.
So he knows about the secret Mars base. Oh, sorry, my bad.
Yep.
Sure. Got it.
Oh, Keith Shipley in his stroke-induced response says, "Just advert on them links promoting virus." Yeah,
just don't let NASA know that you know.
Yeah.
Okay, obviously something is wrong with me, and there's only one way to cure this. So I'm gonna have to get some drink going. So let's go ahead and get some lotion. Okay, let's do this. Oh yeah, there we go.
Put the lotion in the basket, Rose.
There we go.
See, I think Keith Shippey's comments would probably make more sense if we ran them through Google Translate a couple times.
Okay, hang on.
I don't know.
Hang on.
I'm gonna have to mute him. Oh my gosh.
Reds, I'm not there to clean up right now. You can't.
He's putting the condom on with the ribs on the inside.
I wear ribs for her pleasure inside out, just because why should she get anything out of it?
Oh my
God. Where did this go? This comment.
It's weird when you get it wrong and you buy a rack of ribs instead.
Oh my gosh. This
Red
comment
wraps his condoms in sandpaper. Make it hurt more.
We are so sorry, MC2.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not sorry.
No, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry at all.
I'll just read this comment that came in before any of this happened by Fohammer that says, "This used to be such a nice Christian channel that was wholesome."
And God bless you all.
And that went out the door the first day MC Toon had me on stream. I'm just going to say that.
Who the hell am I kidding? MC Toon swears like Reds does.
It's like this. I'm looking down and hey, hang on. The hell just happened?
Don't want to hear what you're looking down on.
No, wait, Toon, what is...
What?
Something just happened to the call.
Something happened to the call?
What?
Yeah. Look at bottom left of the screen. It says Jesus has left the conversation.
Oh no.
See
I don't know. He took the wheel, man. Jesus took the wheel. Lael wants me to, he clipped it earlier, so if you guys don't mind, I'm going to it froze for a second there. My goodness. All right. I'm going to do this full screen just for Lael. Let me get this right here. Is my hair good? All right. It is a 3D world, and I am a 3D girl.
Facts.
Oh God.
There you go. There you go.
I just need you to sing. I just need you to sing Barbie Girl after that, and I'll have all of the tune clips that I need.
I can. There used to be a guy called Rand Campbell, and we actually made a CD with me singing in his voice, and he goes, "My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours."
So you were the birth of the sea shanty craze.
Oh, it was great. Then you'll have timeless classics like my hit single "Chicken Whore."
Yeah, I think I remember that one.
Chicken whore.
Yeah, I'm in a band. The band is called Consistently Poor. And
That's about right.
Yep. It's because none of us are good. So you may be familiar with the other members of my band from the story I told earlier about the good truck.
Yeah.
Yep, those are the same guys in the band. And there's a song. Now, I did not write this particular song. My friend who sopped up the grease from the parking lot wrote this song. The song is called "Oh How I Love the Sounds of Necrophilia in the Night." It is not a wholesome song, and I cannot recommend listening to it.
I wasn't gonna bring this up when you first started because I thought maybe it was going a little too far. But I actually used to be in a band too, and the name of that band was the Cradle Stompers. So,
yeah.
I think we might have, with the name of your song and the name of my band, I think we might have gotten. Well, might have had a.
Well, my song is just a parody. I mean, it's like. Red will be creeping, I'll be lurking in the shadows. I'll be so still and quiet, just like Terry Schiavo. If I can find it, I will fuck it, that's my motto. Red is a great chicken lover. I'll make their wings go flap, flap. Shut the barn door, flap, flap. Floor, flap, flap. You door, flap, flap. Oh, whoa, oh, flap,
Please,
flap.
Wes, never do that again.
Flap, flap, flap. Fuck some more, flap, flap. You chicken whore, flap, flap. Oh, whoa.
Whoa.
See, I didn't play the song I referenced or see the lyrics to it. You don't want to hear them. Red's not satisfied with letting just the imagination play. He had to draw it all out.
There you go.
Oh, gosh.
It's boyfriend's in the chat. Garyway Bega.
So Gary's in the chat. So Gary, you debated Tommy Grunwald. It's time. Right on here. Let's talk. When are you going to be on here, Gary?
Come on, Gary.
Gary. Gary, come on. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about the good old days when people weren't so stupid as to believe that the earth was flat.
Get some crayons so I can understand it. Please get some crayons because we're going to refer to that shit in a minute. Get some crayons so I can understand it. Please get some crayons because we're going to refer to that shit in a minute.
Stream, and you actually wasn't that bad, you know.
We actually have been giving Gary the Vicky treatment, and for those who don't know, the Vicky treatment is we are not censoring Gary. We simply refuse to let him talk in the live chat. The only way he's going to have an opinion on our show is if he actually shows up to the show itself. So unless it is an email address where we can send him the join link to a call, we immediately just put him in timeout so he can get the email and post it in his next message.
Wait, you trying to say that he has a pair of balls? That doesn't sound.
Wait. What?
I wonder if he's a farmer. He has a bunch of cows. I wonder if
true.
I don't know. I wonder if
he has a pair of balls.
No balls. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, Gary, and so a lot of the time, Gary comes in here. He doesn't even listen to it. He just gets in the live chat, copy paste his crap, and then runs off.
Yeah.
But so people don't time him out. I want to see his derp. So
we love to laugh at Gary Wybenga.
It's funny. Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not gonna invoke the Vicky treatment here. This is your show, so your rules. But that's what we've been doing because he's constantly this warrior in the live chat. But I bet you he knows that if he were to step into this call, that he would get absolutely obliterated.
Yeah.
I noticed that
he went on with Tommy,
happens.
A non-native English speaker. Right. Tommy did fine, but Gary would overtalk him and talk really fast.
I notice this sort of thing happens across the range of all these different people's streams. There's always like a particular flat earther who will come in and just like be in the chat constantly, and you know, it's like on the EIE Shills network, it's like multi Tom or whatever, and they'll be just like constantly in the chat every single time. It's almost like they've spread themselves out, so it's almost like teamwork.
They've organized,
like an ant colony. They organize themselves. Right, you go for this channel, I'll go for that channel.
Hey, are you suggesting that flat earthers are a eusocial species?
Well, I'm not suggesting they're a species at all. I mean, that's giving them too much credit.
Look, man, I got the chance to use one scientific term that I know. You mentioned ant colonies. I know the ants are eusocial, so is that actually the word? That's probably not even the word.
I don't know. I'm not an expert in ants like you are, so.
So these very small condoms. That's true.
It is
miniature.
He did, Jordan did admit he has some extra small condoms laying around.
I have, just to make sure people don't think I'm a complete...
We don't need the excuses.
Just to stop your ant farm breeding.
You guys ignore the piles. You ignore the piles and piles and piles of extra large condoms.
We get it.
One box of extra.
According to your perspective, they're large. We get it.
Yeah. According to you.
Just so you know, remember when
the only condoms that disappear over the horizon.
Yeah.
Oh God, you guys are actually making me tear up.
Do you remember Mr. Sensible needed that balloon?
Yeah.
That was actually one of mine used. That's why it broke. The first one broke. So I sent him one that was not used and it worked fine.
Oh, great. Oh my
God. Live chat. If you are not cracking up, what's wrong with you? That's all I need to know.
All right. So there, Gary, let me read Gary's derp for everybody. Ships or buildings don't disappear bottom first because of obstruction. They become unresolvable bottom first because of angular compression and Rayleigh criterion effects. Which, of course, he doesn't know what Rayleigh criterion is.
You almost Freudian slipped there, though. Rayleigh criteria is just what you have to make sure is going on so you can use the bathroom.
Let me break out the crayons for Gary, because that's what you're going to have to do. And like I said, if this was anyone else's chat, I would be giving him the Vicky treatment right now. The law of perspective is alpha equals 2 times the arctan of G over 2R. All right? That does not mean that objects are going to arbitrarily disappear bottom up and then eventually out of sight. That means that as soon as when you get to a certain distance, the available resolution of your eye is insufficient to make out the object. However, if you have enough resolution to make out the top of the object, you would have enough resolution to make up the bottom of the object. It's just that there's this giant hump of water in the way that is blocking your line of sight to the bottom of the object.
Can I just reiterate on that, Reds? Because they're saying that the Rayleigh criterion means you cannot resolve at a certain distance. So are you, Gary? Are you saying that the bottom of the ship and the top of the ship are at different distances? Because if you can't see the bottom of the ship, that's Rayleigh criterion. The top of the ship you can see. That's at the same distance, surely, or is it like closer?
If I have enough angular resolution to make out the top of the towers, I should have enough angular resolution to make up the bottom of the towers. But guess what? I don't see the bottom of the towers, not because they're compressed or because the available resolution available to me is insufficient. There's a giant hump of water in the way. Moron.
Dude, he is pasting like crazy.
Yeah, this is why he gets the Vicky treatment. Yeah. We don't tolerate this BS in other live chats. We say, if you want to have a chat, we're more than happy to have a chat, but you will have a chat in the call.
Yeah. So that brings me back to the question I'm going to ask Gary. When? What day? Pick a Tuesday.
Definitely a Tuesday.
Pick a Tuesday. Because let me check my calendar. Yep, I'm open next Tuesday. Or let me check my calendar again. Yep, the one after that, I'm also open. And, after that as well. All of those. Now, Gary, if you want to be scared that I might block you or something, I have a solution. A third party can manage all of it, in fact. I could be completely without any control over it. How about that? Will you accept then?
Moderate.
Will you accept then? Yeah, I won't have control over the Zoom call. I won't have control over the stream. I'll hand it all off. It's much easier for me. I don't have to manage all of it. I'll find that. We'll do that. So let me know.
Reg has control of it.
So there it is. He wants
Gary.
Gary, during the debate, when you come on here live, I will play your videos on angular compression. When you come on.
Wait, he actually has videos I can debunk?
I don't know.
Seems like it.
Oh, that's amazing.
Or if you want, Gary, we could have a strongly structured debate where neither of us have an opportunity to interrupt. If you want to do that, I'm perfectly fine with that as well. So,
unfortunately, that would not work for him, and the reason is because it would be a format where his feet would actually be held to the fire, and he doesn't like that.
No, it doesn't like that.
No, of course he doesn't. He doesn't like that because, well, one, when you're actually talking, copying and pasting ain't exactly going to help you out all that much.
Imagine that.
Is angular compression better than H265 compression? Yeah, I tried playing a 2000, what is it? 2160p compressed with H265 on my older Mac Mini. Didn't work. So Gary already tore Tommy apart on his show /sarcasm. There we go. Ooh. So, nothing. Come on, Gary. You'll watch the bottom of the ship disappear before the top, and the bottom of the turbines disappear before the tops. And then here comes his assertion, there was no curvature involved. Of course, that's just your assertion. So
I'm pretty sure Rez did a video on this like many moons ago with the blink test.
He's full on. All right. He says EQ mounts prove flat Earth because I don't work on a spinning pair.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
One, EQ mounts only work on a globe. And here's the thing, Gary. I know that you're not going to do this, but I challenge you to prove me wrong. In fact, I'm so confident that you will not be able to do it that I will say right here, live, in front of all these people, mark my words right here, right now, I will give you $1,000 if you can model an EQ mount following an object on a flat Earth. Model it out. Find someone who's good at, animations or CAD or whatever. Model it out for me.
Well, you could talk to me.
Make it. Now, here's the thing. I have to be very, very clear because he's going to try and do some slick shit with this. You have to follow an object in the sky over the flat Earth while rotating only one axis. That is the challenge. Do that. If you can do the geometrically impossible, I will give you $1,000. Prove it.
Wait. You got to add an addendum in there, because you could essentially follow Polaris with a stick, just looking straight up.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about you have to actually rotate one axis. So that means Polaris, no, Polaris doesn't count. I want to be able to put that telescope anywhere. So like, let's say the third star in Orion's belt. Model it out for me where you can follow the third star in Orion's belt throughout the night while rotating only one axis over a flat Earth. You cannot do it. It is geometrically impossible. But if you can model it and you can make it work, I'll give you $1,000.
Alternatively, Gary, I will give you $5 right now to shut up forever.
That's the best deal all night.
Just need your PayPal, Gary. Just need your PayPal.
Yeah, just need your PayPal. Honestly, I'll give you 10 if you can make another flat earther shut up forever. $5 for every flat earther that shuts up forever.
I tell you what, I'll throw another 10.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure we could crowdfund this to a
just crowdfund it.
Here's how Gary doesn't understand things. He says they always brag the EQ mount proved of spinning pair. Thanks to Wolfie's Bob's the science guy, we know it doesn't work when tracking the sun when they set. Of course, when they set, and Extra J says it well. His reason EQ mounts prove FE is because refraction at sunrise sunset throws it off slightly. Of course, that doesn't prove anything. It is accurately predicted by the model, that is our model, because atmospheric refraction is part of the prediction, and it matches. So now again, finding a small flaw in our model does not work to support your model.
Or rather,
how does your model work?
Yeah, or rather, what you believe to be a flaw based on your fundamental misunderstanding of the model.
So basically, here's the challenge from start to finish. All right, not Polaris. I'm going to choose, like, let's say the middle star in Orion's belt. Just pick a star in Orion's belt. It's a very, very easy to find constellation.
Oh, and it's a big constellation. It takes up a lot of the sky as well.
Yeah, so pick a star in the belt, one of the three. Pick one. And then what I want you to do on your flat Earth model is go ahead and model you tracking that star throughout the night from start to finish while rotating only one axis. And guess what? You will not be able to do it. It is geometrically impossible. However, you can model it on the round Earth model. It's almost as if the round Earth model comports with reality, the reality that shows that the EQ mount works. So I'm willing to put $1,000 of my own money that you cannot model that. So any star in Orion's belt for one night, so 12 out for, like, let's say, I don't know, 9 hours, 10 hours, a significant portion of the night tracking it on a flat Earth model. Do it. You can't do it.
You can't do it over half an hour.
Nope. It has to be a significant portion of the night. You know, as if you were doing a long exposure shot to capture, like, the Orion Nebula, for example, you know, the Horsehead Nebula, you know, shit like that. I want it so that you have to show yourself setting up this EQ mount on a flat Earth, point it at the Orion constellation, track it throughout the night while rotating only one axis over a flat Earth. Again, you can't do it.
Oh, Red, you're so mean asking these flat earthers to actually do something.
Oh, I know. Like,
back
up their bullshit. Oh, I'm a terrible, terrible son of a bitch, aren't I?
All right, fellas. Well, I actually got to get out of here. You guys have a nice night. I will catch all of you later.
Enjoy your ribs.
Yep. Yep, I definitely will. Yep. You guys have a nice night.
All right, see ya. So, Effed Up World says, what about the moon? Can you track the moon with your EQ mount.
And I'm trying to find the video that shows it. I would like for you to show this, MC, if you can. Trying to find the video right now. My docs. In my documents, because I have this link saved. Of course I do. It's almost like I've been talking about this for a while.
Well, the thing is, you don't even need to track the moon. All you've got to do is find the holographic projector that projects the moon, and then you can make little bunny shapes in the sky.
All right, MC, I'm sending you a video right now. Go ahead and mute. There's no audio anyway, so we can just watch this together. If you can screen share it or just show people on the outside, that would be great too.
Just a second, getting it going.
Yeah, I want to show people what he would have to do or deal with and how it's not going to look good for Gary.
Oh, I gotta shrink this. It's way too big. That's what she said. I'm sure the noise gate didn't let that one through.
No,
he heard it. He said that's what she said.
All right, here it goes. South Florida. Oh, this is, who modeled this?
That was Slice Barcane.
Okay.
So you can see it tracking that object. Now see how it has to rotate 2 axes in order to keep that object in view?
Yep.
So that is over a flat Earth, and it actually shows the movement of both axes independently, so you can see exactly what is going on.
North Pole above. Oh, so this is if you're at the North Pole.
Yeah, if you're at the North Pole, it could actually work.
Yeah,
you could actually follow by only rotating 1 axis.
The North Pole is the one spot where all things flat Earth and globe Earth works. It's the one spot.
So it shows the 1 axis being still and the other axis actually moving. But the North Pole is the only place where you can actually make this work. But I'm not talking about being at the North Pole, Jack. I'm talking about being anywhere on the flat Earth. Like, for example, Florida or Texas, something like that. Here's Sydney. So as you can see, it's rotating both axes in order for it to keep that object in view. And in reality, that does not happen. You would be able to keep objects in view without having to rotate a second axis. You could keep that object in view rotating only 1 axis, and that's it. And what's going to happen later on in this video is that it's going to show it on a globe now. So as you can see, only rotating 1 axis on a globe, it works perfectly.
And the consistent speed is the other thing.
Yes, the consistent speed is another thing. Exactly.
A speed that varies with sine cosine velocity.
Now here's the thing. Back in the day when I could be asked to actually make videos, I did a very similar video about observing the moon, comparing between looking on the globe and the flat Earth. But what are you going to get? This is the argument that's going to come back. It's cartoons. Because a graphic demonstration of how things work is suddenly cartoons. Therefore,
that's a favorite thing to that.
You can't do a graphic representation of something.
So, all right, if they're gonna not accept cartoons, then give us a non-cartoon picture of flat Earth.
Yeah, exactly. Also, Gary says, at RedsReg, I might agree to come on with you in a non-structured conversation. Yeah, I'm sure. Playing my video, and then you can try to debunk them. Well, why don't you try to debunk the video that I just showed? As you can see, in order for the equatorial mount to keep that object in view, you either had to move more than one axis, or you would have to be at the North Pole and only the North Pole.
But Reds, let's just say it comes on for an what's the word?
Unstructured?
Unstructured debate. That's every flat Earth debate. So what's the difference?
Yeah, what exactly?
Well,
why not? Because I had just come on right now.
Because I had presented
any structure to this whatsoever. Come on right now.
Yeah. Of course, you would pick an equatorial constellation because it goes across the whole sky. You can't track not non-equatorial constellations like the Big Dipper. Oh, is that the case?
Really? Really?
He's never had a telescope.
He has no clue.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
no,
buy a telescope and learn how to use it.
How dumb is this guy? Seriously.
He's really, really dumb. He's quite dumb. One of the dumbest out there. And
Troll or Poe?
Arcane. Because trying to visualize this, I will admit, trying to visualize the issue is quite hard. So that's why I had Slice Arcane model this out so I can show this video to people and demonstrate that in order to keep an object in the view of the telescope, you have to rotate not one, but two axes on a flat Earth. When you model the same shit on a globe Earth, you only have to rotate one axis. What happens in reality with an equatorial telescope mount? You only have to rotate one axis. That's it.
And then
a single axis of rotation is all that's needed on a globe. But when you're on a flat Earth, it's not one axis. It's both of them. Both of them have to move to keep that object in view.
So he says you can't track the sun or moon sets on a single axis rotation. You have to have a King's rate adjustment in order to do so with your EQ mount. Yes, we've already said, Gary, that near the equator, we know that there is refraction. It's predicted. It's part of our model. You don't get to declare what is or is not our model. That's part of our model. It's predicted and it happens. Confirmed.
And also, on top of all this, I said the stars, like, for example, I mentioned specifically the Orion constellation, more specifically, the stars in Orion's belt. Do that. That works perfectly. However, the flat Earth model doesn't work for anything. Not the moon, not the sun, not the stars. At any point, at any time, it does not work. The best case scenario for the flat Earth is that the star or the moon or whatever dips into view of the telescope. It dips into view and then it dips right back out again. That's the best case scenario for a flat Earth.
How about a flat Earth?
Oh gosh.
Just hear me?
Hey, Lael. All right, he says this is the best here. He doesn't realize it, but he just admitted failure. I've already said EQ mount can't track over a flat Earth. It's designed for a ball, and that's why it fails tracking the sun and moon sets. No, it's designed for a ball, and it works on a ball, therefore not flat. Oh my gosh,
I'll add one more thing to that, Tune.
Yeah.
Because of the rotation of the Earth, that's how we get moon sets and sunsets.
Yeah, a moonset and sunset is impossible.
You can't explain it other way.
It is impossible for flat Earth. Oh.
And can we show something real quick? Tune, I sent you a link. Please screen share it with everybody. And once it's up, let me know.
What would happen if
from Astronomy Live?
Yep.
Hey, Reds.
Yeah.
What would it look like if the pizza Earth rotated east to west, and the dome part of the Earth did west to east?
You would see stars traversing the horizon. Also, okay, so this is the Orion Nebula. That was taken over a very long time. That's a long exposure shot. So what you do is you take a long exposure shot, and then you take another long exposure shot, and then you take another, then you take another. And what happens is that you stack these images, which means each image has to be the exact same object. So in this case, the Orion Nebula, and it can't field rotate in the frame. It can't shift around. It has to stay in the frame where it is in order for the stacking to happen. That was done. That image was taken over a few hours with an equatorial telescope mount. It works on a globe. This image is proof of that. However, you would not be able to get an image like this on a flat Earth because the equatorial telescope mount wouldn't be able to produce an image like this. And guess what? I can also confirm that Astronomy Life only had to rotate one axis in order to get this image.
Reds, I disagree with one of your premises. We couldn't do it on a flat Earth because the Earth is not flat.
Go figure.
Well, that is some really good After Effects, though.
Well, it's either
It took
they
me
have
hours.
to either they have to make
Nice.
the claim that this image is fake, or they have to make the claim that that magic was somehow involved to get the image that you guys are now seeing on your screen. Guys, or Gary specifically, this was taken with an EQ mount. And you just said the EQ mount was designed for a ball, not the flat Earth. So please explain to me how this image exists.
Earth isn't flat.
Yeah, Earth isn't flat. It's amazing what a little bit of, knowledge and logic can do.
Although there is one thing I will admit, where I live and everywhere else, like even in Florida and everywhere else, besides mountains, your local areas are level. Because they purposely level the roads because they don't want people driving over unlevel roads because it could be unsafe. So the land appears to be flat. I would agree with flat earthers on that. But that doesn't mean the continent of America is flat.
Here's some pictures. Pictures from Geistview, yeah.
Yeah, Geistview has really, really good images. And he takes his images with an EQ mount. These are all of his findings. So you can see multiple examples of an EQ mount kicking ass, taking names, and rendering gorgeous shots like this. And by Gary's own admission, it's what, since the mount was designed for a ball and because the mount clearly works, what's the conclusion we're forced to come to? The Earth is a ball, a sphere. It's round, not flat.
Well, the only conclusion I have now, Reds, is that either you look like a dog or you look like a human. I can't determine which, so if you turn on your camera, I could determine that easier. Because on that video that's supposedly doctored of the tower taking off, I saw you as a dog, but I don't think you're really a dog.
Well, Reds was constructed with the two half pigs that were not found at the car crash. So
this is true.
He's been merged together.
Gary says, I might agree to come on with you two in a non-structured conversation playing my video view. Let me ask just a very basic question, because this is the second time or third time he's copy and pasted this response. So question, if we were to kick all these bitches out and it be just me and MC Toon, would you actually accept an invite into this call right now?
Oh, thanks.
No offense, DKG, but your Emmy would scare him.
Depends how I use it.
I'll even put my foot forward right now and leave.
You know, JM Truth is just locked in a dungeon. DK comes to visit him. What are you going to do with that Emmy? Oh,
you don't want
to know.
Today it's going in this end. Come on, Gary, you big whoopsie.
Gary, I'm taking the first step. Watch.
What the fuck?
Now he wants a structured debate.
Now he wants it.
Oh,
what the fuck?
Can't make his mind
dude?
up. He wants a structured, unstructured debate.
He wants it structured yet unstructured at the exact same time. This is the contradictory thinking I've been talking about with flat earthers all night.
Oof.
Here is now,
does he want a flat debate or a spherical debate?
Geist
what
views.
shape do you want?
This is Geist views.
That's just gorgeous.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, that's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. That's breathtaking. And you know, getting epic shots like this shows that the EQ mount works. It has demonstrated itself to work, and by Gary's own admission, it shouldn't work.
Yep, because it's designed for a ball. If it's designed for a ball and it works, it means something.
I can answer Gary's concern, guys. This software that we're using is very structured. The debate in here will not be structured. Therefore, it can be a structured and unstructured debate at the same time.
Indeed.
Geistview has, if you guys can, find him on Twitter and just follow him, because he posts some amazing shots from his telescope. It's absolutely beautiful. You know, it shows that the EQ mount works, and that's exactly what he uses in order to get shots like this. So if by Gary's own admission that a shot like this would be impossible on a flat Earth given the mount used, then what does he have to say with the fact that this image exists?
So Gary doesn't seem to think that a model is reality. That just gave my headache a headache.
So I don't know if you follow Bob the science guy, but he's been doing a lot of this type of stuff with his EQ mount and telescope. But doing it of different nebulas and stuff.
Yeah. All right. Gary says he won't come on right now. And he also can't next Tuesday, apparently. So, Gary.
Of course not.
2 weeks from tonight. I'm flexible. I'm open 2 weeks from tonight.
6 months from now, the shape of the Earth's not going to change.
Yep. So, Gary, let's figure it out. All right. So
just name your date and Toon will make himself available in Reds. Toon and Red will make themselves available. Just name the date.
Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you do me a favor? Please click the link that Geistview just shared in the live chat. Click the link and share it.
Will do.
There it is. There we go.
Anyway, Gary said he's in bed right now. I wonder which way the ribs are on.
All right,
see,
so there,
that right there, using an EQ mount. That is the rig that gets those beautiful shots. And when you look at equipment like this, and then you start to understand the consequences of using a rig like this, you start to see that it spells doom for the flat Earth. So if Gary is here admitting that an EQ mount does not work on a flat Earth, what does he have to say with the fact that images like this exist and that, you know, amateur astronomers can get them? You know, Geistview's images are absolutely amazing. However, this is using kit that is available to everybody. Everybody can get a kit like this, can use it. It does take a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of know-how, but anyone can do this. So what does Gary have to say about the fact that it can be done and has been done?
He's still going on about the sun and the moon for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, he thinks that when it's the refraction that our model predicts causes things to be slightly off on the horizon, that it's a problem. Gary, that's not a problem. Like I said before, it matches our model. It matches what we predict. It does not, however, even come close to matching flat Earth, because flat Earth, the sun could never set. Now, if you think the sun could set, how does it set? Where does it set? Please explain it and tell me, for whatever day of the year you want in the future, pick the day and the location. How about this, Gary? Pick 3 locations. I'll pick 3 locations. I'll use the globe model to predict the sunset angle. And you use your flat Earth model to predict the sunset angle. And we'll see who's close.
Good fucking luck. Asking a flat earther to make a prediction that actually, is serious about making a prediction. Yeah, that's like removing the stink from a lump of shit with an empty can of Febreze.
Reds, they can't even predict whether they're going to join a live stream.
I can't tell you about it.
And by the way, Gary, just so you know, if by some miracle you actually show up to a conversation, the conversation isn't going to be a one-way street. I am not going to sit here and just answer questions from you. You are also going to have to answer questions from me. This is going to be a back and forth. I am going to challenge you on the fundamental failings of your, non-existent model. I'm going to challenge you on the failings of your non-existent model. And you, I hope, will have an answer for those failings. A rebuttal, if you will. Sure, I'll watch your videos, but you will be answering my questions as well. The conversation will be a two-way street. And also, Gary, I know exactly why you don't want a structured and moderated debate is because in a proper format with rules, like, for example, you need to present evidence for your model being one of those rules, you would get absolutely destroyed.
Yeah.
Right. So he goes back to the same old nugget that he goes every time. He says, where did it go? Sunsets and moonsets are simply perspective. Well, Gary, there's a formula for perspective.
Alpha equals 2 times the arctan of G over 2R, where alpha is the angular size of the object, G is the actual size of the object, and R is the distance to the object.
And how does that predict the sun will set? In fact, that predicts that the sun would shrink in angular size with increasing distance.
And guess what?
But it doesn't.
As I found out back in 2016, because I actually did this observation, the sun does not change in angular size throughout the day. It does not change. Guess what? If we were to see the sun disappear by perspective alone, we would see that sun shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink, as it gets closer to the horizon. Guess what? It doesn't do that on a flat Earth model. Given the values that I have seen other flat earthers give, the sun would rise at one angular size, grow to 3 times bigger midday, and then shrink again to the size it was when it initially rose.
But it would never actually rise. It could never be close to the horizon.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. It would be a dot. The smallest it would get would be a point. You'd still see it like the stars.
It would be a point light source. You would see the angular size of the sun swing wildly throughout the day. But guess what? The angular size of the sun remains constant. It is the exact same throughout the day, yet we still lose sight of it. So if the available resolution of our eye was sufficient midday, why the fuck is it not sufficient for the same size object at sunset?
Now, Gary has got all confused about all the weird old mathematics-y type stuffs about, equatorial mounts and observing the stars. But he also came in pretty headstrong about ships disappearing over the horizon and Riley criteria. What would be the loveliest, dumbest down a thing you guys could bring to him to say, this is why we live on a globe? What would be the loveliest, dumbest thing you could try to present to him?
For me, it'd be if you can see the horizon, that's the curve. That's as simple as it gets, really.
I mean, the simplest thing that I could tell him is, hey, watch this video about how an equatorial telescope mount works. Understand that it doesn't work on a flat Earth. See that it does on a globe. Oh, look, it works in reality. Connect the dots, dude. It's not that difficult. I ask people, explain the geometric impossibility of an EQ mount working on a flat Earth. Explain it. Go ahead. Explain it.
I think Gary's stuck in a loop.
It works
He's
because
still going about the sun. Oh my God.
Well, there's the sun. This is more from Geist view.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
Jesus, that's nice.
Is that CGI? Somehow?
No, I believe that they call that hydrogen H alpha solar filter or something like that.
Yeah. There is is that, I think that's, it must be Mercury transiting there.
Mercury, yes.
See, yeah.
Unfortunately, I missed Venus, and it ain't going to come back until I'm dead. So that sucks.
Oh, so somebody took my my saying, gotta light a flurf. That's cool.
So here's a quick question for Gary. You like talking about the sun, let's talk about the sun. When it's over the southern tropic, which sits 23 degrees south, it can still light up Ontario, Canada, which is 7,800 miles away. Place that same sun over the northern tropic. Why isn't Russia lit up at the same time as the United States? All of Russia. Because it would travel the same distance. What prevents the sun from traveling that 7,800 miles across the distance of the flat Earth and lighting up all of Russia and probably into portions of Europe?
Yeah. Well, anyway, being that it's 4:30 in the morning, I'm going to call it here. But before I go, I will go ahead and extend this offer to Gary one more time. And Toon, I hope that you will follow up with him. So, Gary, if you are truly serious about having a conversation, that means a legit back and forth, then fine. We can have it unstructured because that's what we normally do, I guess. But understand that if you show up, I will be questioning you on the failings of your model. This will be a back and forth. I'm not going to get bombarded with a bunch of stuff from you without me having a turn to do the same right back. I have plenty of questions for you, plenty of things that I would like for you to demonstrate. You know, demonstrate how they work on a flat Earth, given the contradictions that plague the model. So that kind of thing. Understand it will be a back and forth. If you are okay with that and you can schedule it with MC Toon, I will make time in my schedule to be there for the call. Hey, Toon, does that sound fair?
That's good with me.
Perfect. So with that, I'm going to go engage in sins of the flesh, and y'all have a good night.
Ribs on the inside.
He means donkey porn.
And Reds, I'm really glad you got a laugh out of my JM Truth video, taking your fantastic footage and ripping it apart.
I absolutely adored it. By the way, DK, quick question. Does your skill set mean that you're able to make like 3D models of stuff, or is that not your skill set?
It's not really my skill set, but I've done it in the past.
All right, understood.
So I can do stuff.
DK, I'll be in touch on Twitter. Then I want to see if you can do something.
Yeah, okay. give me a shout, mate. No worries.
Sounds like a plan. All right, guys. Peace. I'm out.
Bye.
Haters.
All right. Well,
out too.
Yeah, it's time. So thank you, everybody. I'm gonna contact Gary. Gary, I'm gonna contact you. I'm gonna ask Tommy for your email address.
Is Mummy?
Tommy Grunwald. We're gonna set this up to Gary. All right. So, all right, DK. Thanks for coming on. And
well, I'm sorry.
What was that?
Well, you were talking about my shit on the thing. I thought,
Oh yeah,
pop in.
I love that that water tower blasting off is so funny. So
I'm sorry I haven't been doing any more stuff because I can't be bothered.
Oh yeah. I mean,
all right.
It's gonna be the same old stuff every time. All right, King Crew. Thank you too.
June, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Have a good night. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one.
All right. Well, I'll see you next time. Bye.
Appreciate it. Thanks again. Bye.
Bye, folks.